night I really had to deal with fear, and what I was consciously getting into was the night the 16th Street Baptist church was bombed. The 4 little girls were killed. I was in Washington, D.C. when I heard it, and I went to visit some friends on a hot summer day. They were in Virginia, and I drove up to their house and was walking up, and the door was open, and I heard the radio announcing the bombing, and they came to the door, and I said, whoops, I'm going to have to go home. I turned around, I drove back to D.C., and when I got there was a military vehicle saying, Burke Marshall wants you to go to Birmingham. So I grabbed some clothes, threw them in. I flew to Birmingham. By the time I got there, it was getting on into the evening early. It was still light outside. I got a briefing at the FBI headquarters, and they asked me to make contact with Martin Luther King and the black community and try to orchestrate things and keep the peace. So I got in a car, and by then it was dark, and people were shooting at each other on the streets. Blacks were shooting at whites, and I remember very consciously saying, this is crazy. And at this time I was in the white community, and it was getting dark. I kept the lights off and hoped no one would shoot me, and that I could get out of the white community as a black driver safely. And even remember sort of fantasizing what it would be like to have a bullet come through the windshield. When I got to the black community, I turned on the lights so they could see that I was black. So I was conscious of this, and I knew it was dangerous. I don't know if I was stupid or dumb or committed. I don't know what drove me beyond that, but I was aware of it, but it seemed like something that needed to be done, and I have to say that I was inspired. I felt like a coward most of the time because I'd see these young school kids come to demonstrations, and they'd have a towel and a toothbrush with them, knowing they were going to get arrested, knowing they were going to probably get beat up, and knowing they were going to go to jail. And every time I got arrested, except the one time that the film indicated where I actually did get arrested and taken to jail, I did that because I was trying to show Dr. King I could get arrested. But every other time I'd whip out my ID, and I felt like I had to show some bravery because Dr. King and Andy Young and the locals, I just admired their bravery and what they went through so much.